Okay.
And we're back.
Oh, is this the,
This is the real GPB.
oh man, is Joe, is he in here?
He's not, he's at work,
He just
but
gave
he
a-
watches the replay religiously.
So it was
This
hijacked.
must be the big Sunday win.
Yeah, I don't like this bet. But we get away with it. One big blind. Come on, Joe, what's up with that one big blind stuff?
He likes that.
He likes that way too much.
Yeah, I also think that.
Especially here, one big blind, like we can range bet small 35% with any two card. Like you're getting fancy on spots where you don't need to. Ooh, flush on the river. Pretty sure he has the flush, right?
Yeah, or better ace at least.
An enthusiastic bet.
Great got there too.
And maybe he gets enough faults in his player pool with one big blind bets. Yeah. Then, if you get enough faults, you can do that. But
Here, should we see bet?
Kinda like a check here.
Yeah, no diamond.
I don't know, let's see.
Check, check, check.
Like this is like 15
Backdoor straight.
deep, under the gun versus big blind, let's see.
These monkey in the middle spots are, oh, are we in position or are there three ways? Guess we're in
Hey.
position.
I think we're heads up here.
Yeah, sorry.
8 and the 6 with the same suit. And then big blind is gonna check, and then should we see better? Yeah. Oh,
Range.
should we even open king ten off?
One,
From
two,
under the
no,
gun? This here, that seems to suggest we shouldn't.
Oops.
but we, given that we did, it's still a C bet.
Yeah,
Yes.
if we did, we should see better.
Yeah, you can compare it to eight. It's pretty ace ten also. It's pretty similar.
Yeah. Or king jack off. No,
No, king jack off is a pair, top pair.
Yeah, yeah.
You could look at what, oh, I know, you could also look at what king ten suited does. Of no suit to the board.
okay, open rip sixes. I think that's fine.
I think this is. Oh, okay. You have the
This is a three bet.
range.
This is
Oh,
an
wow.
all in or a call.
All in.
Yeah, seems like a shove.
Yeah, 10 bigs. I would go all in.
It's 10 bigs only.
But probably in the big blind you can call probably also.
King ten
Ten-
suited, just
10
one
bigs.
call.
Can you bring it back to 10? There you go.
At 10, it's a jam.
Yeah.
We have, I think, 11 here.
It's close, so you can call out jam.
Well, and you actually, yeah,
We
you
have
started
12
with
here.
12.
We have 12 here, but it's really close, right? Two big blind difference between call or all in.
Yeah, it's close. So you can go all in or call.
Yeah.
Good shot. 2 overcards. Backdoor. We lead on that flop, I think.
Yeah.
We good, is that a check? Do we think check raise all in if he bets?
With the 8 board, I don't think we lead. If it was 7, 6, 5, sure.
Well, we flattered, don't we have the range
Against the
advantage on an
Cut off,
8-6-7?
so yeah, maybe cut off not. I don't know.
Don't we have the range advantage in an 8-7-6 rainbow board here?
Range advantage is a big word, but we have a pretty
I
good
don't
range.
think so because he should be opening a lot of offsuit eights,
We have
whereas
a nut advantage though. Right?
He has 10-9 off, so you don't have an
The
advantage.
caller and the opener both have equal amounts of 10-9 off, so I think it's pretty,
Yeah, but he has more proportional 10-9 offs.
Big blind doesn't have sets.
Proportional
And-
speaking,
and
the
4-5.
has more 10-9.
You think that they both have both the same number of 10-9 offs?
The suited combos, he's probably,
Offsuit,
yes.
offsuit.
I don't know if he's opening full frequency offsuit. He definitely should not be calling full frequency offsuit from the small blind.
We're in the big blind, aren't we? I hope we are.
Sorry, it may be the big blind, which
Yeah, he doesn't have 10-9 off as an open from the cutoff.
Yeah, I think that the caller has more 10-9 offs and a higher degree of straights. I think he's got a big nut advantage there.
Yeah.
No, if you see here, like, look at the equity and the EV. Out of positions, equity is 45. Out of, in positions, equity is 53.
It's
Look at
12
the
bigs. He doesn't have a lot of those
Yeah.
hands. at 12
I
bigs.
don't think his opening range is correct here.
The range is wrong. He's not opening 10-7 off, 10-8 off, 10-9 off.
He has
From the
30 big
cutoff.
blinds, right?
What
Yes,
are you
sir.
talking about?
The opener has more than 15.
We're looking at the big blind calls or,
Yeah, okay, but it reacts on the open of the cutoff.
yeah, so the ranges are right.
Hey,
This-
Louis,
this one-
so, you know,
This one
when you
can't be
showed
right.
the, Louis, when you showed the equity at like 53%, it seems to me that once it gets to be 52-48, that's pretty neutralized. You know, as opposed to, I mean, that's pretty good for the caller, isn't it? I mean, I know he's technically behind.
I would not venture into this. I think it's a bit of a slippery slope. I think if it was a 7 high board, our conversation would be very different.
I have
But
to
now
agree.
it's an 8 high board and we don't have the range advantage. We don't have the nut advantage. We don't have the, like, our strategy is gonna bleed here. His
Cutoff at
strategy
8,
is gonna
7,
print.
7, 6.
I'm kind of,
10-9.
I'm with you on this one, Louis. I think that
Alright.
if there is an edge, it's marginal.
Yeah, so like, you can lead here with top pair, sure. Your best top pairs can lead. Like, you can lead with danglers. Like the upper
you shouldn't have
dangler,
any
the
sets,
bottom
right?
dangler. But you know, your betting strategy here is like 20%, 25%.
Okay, that's good.
And Louis,
So,
you're saying we don't,
If
we
you
don't have the
wanna
nut
pick up
advantage.
heuristics or if you have top pair, you can just blast it. That's
Yeah.
the thing we're looking at here. The
Right.
top pair, just go all in. Or
And Louis, you're
lead,
saying
or
we-
you can be up to no good with top pair.
And 10 suited can bet.
Louis, you're saying we don't have the nut advantage, even though we have all the 4-5 and all the 9-10 because we don't have any of the pairs? So we have no sets?
I'm saying, if we look at the equity, like.
I agree with the
define-
equity.
We
We don't have the
define
range
the big
advantage at all.
blind, so when we define the big blind, we go on the flop with the massive range usually. So it's really, really tough to have the range advantage and not advantage when you go to the flop with 7-3 suited.
Right, right. No, no, we definitely don't have the range advantage. I wasn't saying that, but
Yeah, so
We have
Scott,
the-
you actually pointed something out that I guess I failed to process is without the pairs, because you're right, they're over jamming that it
Yeah.
really changes the equation a lot. So you're right.
yeah, so we have basically, so we have 32 nuts. And he has 18, but his 18 are a higher part of his, a higher percentage of his range, which is more important for defining the nut advantage.
Well, he also has all the pairs, right?
You have also
Right, that's what he
to,
has. Those are his 18 nuts.
You have to
is the
count
pairs.
all the sets, all the 2 pairs.
Louis, what are the stack
Not on
sizes
straight,
of the
yeah.
button and the small blind?
It was 12
Okay.
big
Yeah,
blinds effective in the effective blind.
Well,
but-
that
but
can,
the
go
guy
for
is
He doesn't have the
opening
2
from a
pairs.
30 big blind
5 nuts.
stack. He's opening from 30 big blinds, not from
Otherwise
12.
that can go for
He's
3
So
opening-
sets.
he is opening 10-9 suited, and in the sim, he is not opening 10-9 suited.
Yeah, but do you think it changes everything?
Yeah, he's not open that whole gap, he's just min opening.
Alright, so think about it. It's
Even
gonna
better
just
for
give
him, Jeff.
more equity to in position. So in position already have the equity advantage, the EV advantage, and if we add like 10-9 suited, it's gonna be even bigger.
Yeah, right.
So
No.
definitely the big blind does not have the range advantage here. It does not have the nut advantage either.
Louis, that's the one thing I just wanted to understand, was we have significantly more nuts in this sim than he does. But is it,
No,
but we're saying, no, because we have 16, 10 nines, we have 16, 4,
but
5.
Scott,
Yeah.
15 big blinds deep.
Look at
Sets
this.
are nuts, eh?
Look at this. Say we start with overpair is the nuts, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
open
okay,
pairs are the nuts.
Overpair is the nuts.
Oh, okay,
Well,
Alright.
1% plus 4% plus, we have
200 bigs deep.
10%
Yes,
of our
alright.
range is the nuts here, okay,
15
for
big
out of position. Okay, and in position has the nuts 20% of the time, twice
Yeah.
as often as us.
okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Much
is so
work it
we're
does for
looking at
Hank.
the percentage of nuts, not the number of nut hands.
Yeah, always at percentage.
Exactly. It's a percentage of your range.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's relative to like what they were saying, like.
Okay.
You're calling like a shit ton of combos compared to what the
Yeah, yeah.
guy's opening.
That was the thing I was misunderstanding, because in one of somebody's workshop, at one point, I think it was JL who said it, but he may not have meant it. He said, no, it's not the percentage, it's the number. It's the raw number, but we're saying,
No.
and this makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Percentage makes more sense. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
so what's
You
the
also
cut?
have to take care of what are the nuts. For instance, in this situation, need overpairs are the nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I wasn't
JL might
counting
have been
those together.
talking about the river. Is that possible?
Higher
On
one.
the river, you wanna count combos, right? You're gonna do card removal. street to
Actually,
street.
how's it going, man?
Good, good.
So
you-
by the time you get to the river, the actual number matters, I think, right?
No, it's still percentages. If you look at it, but you count numbers because that's easier to count.
Yeah,
So check,
If you
check.
know the
So on
percentage-
the flop, you would consider anything two pair or better, over pairs or better is the nut, right?
Because the SPR is so small, an overpair is the nut here.
right.
Even top pair is the nut.
Yeah, you're happy to get it all in with an 8 here.
Yeah,
So we should bet the turn. After the flop goes check, check, we should bet the turn with our king eye, with our best king eyes, trying to get him off to fold. I assume it's gonna be an ace high. So this is what size? This is
Of
bet
already
small,
30%,
30%. So when we bet 30%, do we get ace highs to fold? Yes. So we're trying to bet small on the, after the flop goes check, check here. We're betting small, trying to get him off to fold an ace high. So like here, Joe checks the turn, but you should bet here, Joe. And then like you end up betting on the river, but you could have done it on the turn, would have been good. But yeah. We get run over and we fold.
Wasn't the river bet too small? Should it be supposed to be pot bet now?
It should be a turn bet, not a river bet.
Yeah.
and you don't have to bet to the river that big. Depends on what you want.
Oh, Maxi,
Yeah,
congrats on
probably
your
two
run this weekend.
Thank you. It was a long time.
Who else won? It was Theo. Theo won big this weekend, like 2,000 euros. All in?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we win.
And we dominated him.
This is certainly a lesson in never give up down to 7 blinds.
Never ever give up. I can't count how many times I've seen a guy blinding down to 1 or 2 big blind and turning around and shipping the damn thing first place.
Goes
Where-
chip in a chair, man.
Yeah,
In a chair.
a bit.
What's up?
Raise? No, fold. We need to fold here. Yes,
King eight is a raise?
min raise. Is this a raise? You guys raising here? Hijack 15.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a raise.
yeah,
15 hijack.
yeah.
Although on the low jack, you're tighter with jack 10.
Yeah.
But your queen 10 is more More resilient than Jack 10.
Spot on, Viv. Now, do we see that here? We have good blockers. We block Jack 10, we block Queen Jack, it's a pair board. If we were heads up against the big blind, it would always be a C bet for me. But
Against two players.
bounty way, it's dicey, right? How many jacks does he have? He doesn't have any pair, he would have ripped them. What kind of range does he have?
Hard to say because he shouldn't
Like ace 10?
shouldn't flat a lot in this position.
Really, really tough, right? But I like the C bet here.
I did too.
Oh no, it's a jack. Checks. What are we gonna do? Should we double barrel?
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
I
Yeah, but-
don't see much utility in double
Like,
barreling, but
Did he
maybe.
call a check raise?
No, it's just a
Oh,
bet.
check.
You
It's
check-
a
you
small
check call.
blind flatted at 12 big blinds.
Yeah, I guess nothing changes here, right? It's a complete break. So since we didn't like, it's not a scary card, it's not an over card, it's like a brick. So nothing changed, so I don't think we should double barrel. If we pick up a nine, if we pick up a queen, a king, I think we should like bet.
What's the 90 for you?
The nine would give us like an open end.
Oh, I see, because you got open ender, yeah.
Okay, it's king. We win.
Is it like at the bubble or in ICM that you left half a big behind?
On ladders.
On ladders indeed, if you want time and then ladder up.
Okay, so you're in the money.
I don't think
Yeah,
we
around
are,
the bubble, but
but we could be, it's 300 hands out of 700. No, out of 600.
I'm pretty sure you're already in the money if this is a large field, because
600.
usually you'll hit the money and then it's forever and ever until the final table.
He very well could have late reg. Did we see how, did he start with a full stack?
Nope. He
Yeah,
late
three
reg
finally.
as well.
Yeah, so that'll reduce the hands as well.
yeah, so then you don't know. But is it GG?
Nope,
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
it's a shady network.
Because the big blinds are.
ACR.
This is played on a shady and unreliable network. I'm not sure if you can trust it. Especially
Very
like,
careful, very careful. Phil's
Sounds like you
listening.
punted off your stack already.
what do you guys do here? Blind versus blind, 10 big blind effective.
Don't ask.
That is, I think I'm jamming 10-8 off.
Easy rip.
Ripping.
That's the bottom of my offsuit 10 jamming range.
But do we need to consider a little bit the big blind stack? Let's say the same situation, but the big blind is also 10 big blinds.
Yeah, would
deep.
rip.
This is the same spot because our chart is 10 big blind effective.
Yeah, it's just chippy V, yeah.
Oh, it feels bad, man. This one feels really bad. Play.
But
300 hands.
his calling range is much more looser than the 10 big blinds effective range, I suppose.
Yeah,
because
maybe,
he has more
but it's tough to tell.
In ICM situations, you need, if it's an ICM situation, then yes, but if it's not, then it doesn't matter what his stack is. If you're doing chippy V, it does not matter what the big blind stack is.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But if we're
Fine,
barely
yeah.
in the money, it's barely ICM because we're
Yeah,
short.
it's
shit.
a fold.
You're the short stack,
least
it
you
doesn't
can
matter.
live.
Oh, then you fold, you have 10 big blinds. I mean,
I think it's better just to jam, but I don't think it's a open fold.
So we
Unless
should
it's a
go all in
bubble.
here, but Joe goes for the fold, which is probably not a big mistake.
Nah, it can't be a big mistake.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I'm ripping it though.
What do you guys do here?
Fold.
I fold, ace 10, I call ace 10, I fold ace 9.
I fold ace 10
I think I'm rambling here.
against under the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
fold
We
against
only
under
had
the gun.
10, ace, I mean, ace
Not
9
folding.
might. Ace 9 might, cause he's ripping some worse offsuit ace still. No,
You should.
14, he's not. No, ace 10, I'm ace 10.
Shouldn't, huh?
I'm sticking with it. Ace 10 off's my bottom of my range.
I'm folding, yeah.
And also to check his HUD
I
also
think ace queen.
if he's on it.
You shouldn't jam ace.
Get out of here. You're lighting money on fire. Fold this in.
Fold.
Yeah, he's
Easy.
got to worry about everyone who covers him behind him. That's going to be a stronger
I'm
range than
folding.
ace
Only got
nine.
the blinds behind him though.
If it's making EV, it's low. It's
Not
moving.
even close.
No, like the guy who rips from under the gun, right? Like his aces are going to be better.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even ace ten is burning money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 10% of ace is
yeah, okay, so easy fold.
easy fold.
I'm still not folding ace ten off.
You should, Ken.
Even
I see
after you've
that.
seen that?
Is
I
this
see
an
that.
open?
Yes.
You're running money, yeah.
Absolutely.
Shove and rip.
From the cutoff.
Can even fold ace jack in some situations. So.
Yeah, okay, so we should min raise here. Oh, we missed.
Why are we min raising? It's a shove.
No, it's a shove. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
shove.
shove.
Yeah, it's an open rip.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, we were gonna run into it.
Yeah, but he
Joe
had king
has
seven
his,
suited.
uh,
We had him
Joe
on- we
has
had him
his,
dominated. Or 9-8.
Spidey sense is up. Oh no, what is this?
I'm
Open
just
rep.
saying.
Oh,
We're
oh,
under
the
pair.
7 on the river.
Didn't even need
We
it.
had him,
Nice.
Need it.
had him all the way.
What are you
That's
gonna
how
do
you,
here?
that's how you get some tournament win.
Versus cutoff.
I think it's a rip.
This is gross.
This is an
It's a,
all in.
it's a call.
15 bigs.
What?
I'm
You
gonna
call
call.
here?
I'm
Doesn't play
calling.
well post flop. Just this is a candidate to go in.
15.
We don't have to, it's not 20, I don't think.
15, cutoff is 15.
Like 10 or 12. It's 12, I think.
15.
15.
15. all right.
15. Big blind versus
just calling.
raise versus cutoff. I'm ripping.
Ship it.
I don't think it's bad.
Oh,
Ooh, ace nine.
We're
Oh,
at
it's a
12.
partial ship.
okay,
Okay.
calling is fine. Calling is fine.
Shipping's fine too.
Yeah, both.
Oh. Dirty.
That's funny.
I
Get it,
don't
Joe?
trust those min raises with 15 big blinds. A lot of people just jam.
That's how it's done, Joe. Well done. But to be fair, Joe played really, really well on his way here. So like it's fully deserved.
Oh, you
I
have to
like
have
SC bet small
good
here.
words, otherwise,
What's up with this one big blind, Joe?
Did he fold the king 8 in the cutoff?
Well,
in
he's
that
doing
early
that-
hand, or was he in
he's-
that? or
Yeah,
was he
Betting
in
but
the
one
high
he
blind
jack?
was, he
with
was
range.
10 big blind
Every
effective.
hand.
Now he's 30.
He's
Hey, so
range-
Louis and
Oh, right.
He's
Louis
doing
in
this with
past,
range.
past
oh, the
sessions.
big
you
blind's
would-
only 8, so it's not that bad in this situation.
I'm
Hey, about
sorry,
this hand, why do you hate the one big blind? bet
Louis
here?
in
because I don't
past-
understand it.
I really like it here, because he's gonna do it with his whole range.
So,
I
I'm
think it's
just
good,
thinking,
but
the
maybe
flat
it's,
isn't gonna have a lot of 2x here, so that's basically a double blank and you're blocking the top pair. So it should get him to like spaz out some, right? Like, it's gonna be like the ultimately efficient bet, I would think, just because it's gonna fold a lot. And then he's gonna spaz out some with like, I guess he shouldn't have too many pairs, but
Can have
maybe
a flush draw that he spazes.
yeah.
with.
He
the
might
flush
just rip
draw's
an ace
probably
high,
fine. Yeah, he might be ripping some ace highs,
if he even
although,
has an ace in his range.
although I was gonna say, he's probably getting rid of some of those most of those pre-flop, because he's so short, but
He probably shouldn't have.
I don't
any.
know, I don't.
Yeah, I don't mind because he's only 8 big blinds deep.
Right, well, we have no problem getting all in if we want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a,
So how do you respond to a jam here?
call.
you gotta
Oh.
snap it off.
That
Yeah, you
call.
gotta snap it off.
Easy call.
And then Louis, you had in past talked about one big blind bets. What, just distinguish between when you like them, when you don't.
I'm sorry?
You had talked about using one big blind bets in other situations. Why do you see this as different?
Well, I'm mostly using one big blind bet when it's blind on blind and it's a limp pot. Here it's
Wait,
like, the way Joe plays it, he's using it as a small bet.
Right,
So
so
it's
what would
like-
you,
It's like he's just like trying to, but the thing is that one big blind is really easy to call and you allow your opponent to realize equity here with like, say he has two black trees, for example. Okay, and you bet like small, if you just bet small, stuff for him, you know, like he should probably, anyway, at this stack depth, he's going all in with his trees. But what I'm afraid is that he gets to float wider and he gets to realize his equity. Whereas when we just bet small, we just put him in the top spot.
This is a really static board. I don't think you should be betting small on like a dynamic one, but this is pretty like
Well, I mean-
the only thing, the board's not gonna change really unless the flush comes in, but he might
Yeah,
just
he
jam
does
the
it all
flush
the
draws on
time,
you.
Also, if the stacks are big. and
So
that's-
what if it?
I like it, not
two
using
comes?
size.
If a two comes, the board is changing. And then if a 2 and a 2 comes, the board is changing. And then if a flush comes in, the board is changing.
But hand has more than 80% equity, Louis.
What?
So he has all crappy hands. He doesn't have 18% equity against him.
This is fine.
Oh, I'm
like
sure it's
I
fine.
like it
I'm
in this
just trying
spot. I think
to
it's pretty cool.
grasp it, grasp the why. But sure,
Well, I mean, so what do you think the more efficient alternative is in this spot exactly?
betting two big lines.
What about like 1.67 or something?
So
It's
what
fine.
portion of the range is getting folded out with two big blind that one big blind's not accomplishing? Like what is two big blinds accomplishing that one big blind doesn't accomplish?
Nothing.
Louis, what's the dose
I
with?
think Matt would have 15% in his Pio solver here, and that's probably just gonna end up being one big blind.
No, 15%. You've seen that,
15%.
like, you've seen like big players using
I've seen
15%.
Matt's in it, isn't it in one of the configurations when we're short
Yeah,
of Matt's?
I
yeah, but
haven't seen it, or like,
think
It
I
is,
don't
it's
know,
in 40
I've
big
ran
blinds.
hundreds of sims, so it's tough for me
if
to
if
tell
you
you.
give the solver for different sizes, then you will use 4 different sizes.
To my
I think you
knowledge,
could use
That's
this.
what solvers do.
You can use your whole range with one big blind. You can't use your whole range with two big blinds.
to my
It's almost-
knowledge, Michael Acevedo, the smallest size he advocates is like 25%.
Well, this is 20% almost. It's fine.
I would bet 1.5 here. That's what I do.
So would I, but it's fine.
Okay,
And you can make your life easy or difficult. I mean,
yeah.
yes.
I'd
Size you
like
want.
if Joe would tell us about why he uses this size, but yeah, he's up for it.
I think you can use it on your complete range, you know, 7-6 suited.
When
Yeah,
when he watches the replay, he's gonna say, "Oh my goodness, this was a misclick. I can't believe they talked
Well,
about
no,
it."
no, because where is he?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think he said something about it. Where
in
was it?
general.
In general, he said
Yeah.
exactly something about it. But catching up, blah, blah, blah. You guys need to start running sims with the one big block sizing on the river.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, that was on the flop, so it's not
Yeah,
really
it's a
this.
thing on- It's definitely a thing on the.
The
flop.
other
I
situation
do
was
it.
completely
I've
different.
done it plenty of times. I like
Okay,
it. When they're
okay.
so short like that, they can't defend.
What do you mean they can't defend? Are you
They
serious?
don't, they just overfold. They don't have nothing. They fold.
This is
Call
the
big blind, they're getting a
easiest
great-
bet you
they're
can
getting a
defend
great
against. You can
price.
basically do anything you want with it.
What do you,
I'm
what do you
sure
want to defend?
If
Louis?
this guy is like a fish and he has no raising skills, that if he sees this, he's gonna be able to raise it.
They
Like
have-
you induce like basically like people. So when you
They're-
do it, it's like super like kind of linear, right?
They're
Because you do it
completing
when
with
you want
almost their
action.
entire range and they can't float that short. So when they completely brick, they just have to fold when you breathe on the pot. Like there's really very little you can do there unless, there's very little you can do. You can't float.
If you give the solver all kinds of bets, it will use all kinds of bets. So yeah, you can do anything you want. I mean,
Well, we should
all
probably ask
solver
about this.
approved. It's all solver approved.
In this particular spot with this size and this board and our hand, the bet makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because his stack size is small.
It may not, we may not be able to construct the range that we really like with it, but for this particular hand, it's a great bet.
I mean, he can
Well,
get
I mean,
to
I
the
think that
heart-
everybody
he can
agrees
get
that.
to
I mean,
the hearts
like a
here,
two-
Right? And that's about it. And he's gonna have some kings and I guess he's gonna have some twos and then hearts. Like, that's it.
Because he has to overfold, but he has also to overfold against 1.5 big blind. I mean,
So your range benefits by using less, because if you have a complete error, you put one big blind in, you get a shit ton of they're gonna overfold, right? That you're gonna produce then
But he
to.
should defend
fold
more if you bet
much.
one big blind, or not?
Yeah, I don't think there's a big difference in this particular hand.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? Why
If you
are-
bet one big blind with air here and he check raises all in, you only lose one big blind. And you could use the one big blind for your whole range, but if you bet
Right.
two big blinds, you need to split your range.
Yeah,
You're
but I
not-
think
you're
you're
not
making
folding
a
to a
mistake. You only
check
bet one
raise.
big blind with your whole range.
No, but he was talking about the bluff portion of the range, not this particular hand.
Okay, gotcha.
If you bet 7-6 of spades one.
I think
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you
I don't know. I
call
think
for
that, I
one
mean,
big
that could be
blind,
said, and I
1.5,
have
2,
seen that
3,
in
4,
really
5,
bad
We'll
games.
use all.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well,
Okay.
okay, so we know it's between 1 and 2 blinds, and there's a little bit of a debate about which is better.
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
Doesn't matter. 10 minutes is enough. Next hand.
I agree.
Chris
Well,
is ready to
that's
move
That's a
on.
19% bet. That's,
Right.
you know, that ain't
It's
a
fine.
tiny bet.
So I
That ain't
mean,
super
like, think about
tiny,
it,
it's
think about it from this
19%.
standpoint. What's your goal with bet sizing? What's the goal with this 25% thing? What are you trying to do? Like, in my mind, you're trying to get the maximum number of folds with the minimum numbers of chips exposed, right? I mean, that's why, like, you condense some of your bets to like a 30% C bet with your whole range, just because it's the most efficient thing.
Yeah,
So
so
like,
That doesn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
it's the most efficient thing, huh? Always.
You
No,
lose
not
less when he
necessarily.
jams and you got air.
look, I mean,
So
so I've been listening to this for a while, and the general summary here is there's a little bit of a debate about whether or not the smaller, i.e. the 1 big blind versus the 2 big blind will create too many floats. That's, I think, what Louis is saying. And that's,
Right,
I don't
yeah.
know the answer to the question, but that's the argument is
well, look at
everybody
it.
says it's a
Okay.
small bet, but whether it's a 2 big blind, 1.5 or 1, depends on whether or not you think they're going to overfloat. You're not going to get the result with the smaller bet. And
So
I
what's
don't
the
know.
worst hand in his range that he's supposed to be floating?
Give me a second, guys.
Ace high.